Welcome to Shootin' The Shish-kabob March edition. We're wearing green because, St. Patty's Day is in this month. And yeah, here we are. We're going to chat about some cool things. But do you have
Before we
something?
start,
Do you
yes,
have
before we
something?
start, I think we should just share a little Irish blessing just to go with our whole
Love
theme.
this.
This is one of my favorites, and
Okay.
I often will share it with my clients when we buy a new house. So it just says, "May your troubles be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door." And I just love that.
I love that.
So
That's
great.
so perfect.
They
The Irish just like know where it's at with that
do.
phrase,
They
like
have
that
the
poem.
best, they have the best blessings.
So good.
Yeah,
Also, may you always have walls for the winds and a roof for the rain, tea beside the fire. Like, how good is
always.
this? Like,
Yeah.
I want this. I want to
Yeah.
be like in a cute little cottage on the, Irish countryside, drinking
With
tea.
exactly, always. Oh my
And they
gosh.
like are so joyful. Like, may joy and peace surround you, contentment latch your door, and happiness be with you now. Like, come on. They just
Yeah.
like want people to be happy. It's the best. My last name is Irish, and my husband's family is like long time ago immigrated to Canada, Irish.
I thought
So
you were
sometimes I'm like,
Scottish. Why did I think you
no.
were Scottish?
My stepdad is Scottish, so I have like Scottish family.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
why.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh, so you got a little Irish in you.
I do.
I've never done that. I don't think I do, but you never know, right? Have you ever done one of those ancestry tests?
I haven't, but my dad did. So I was like, and my mom did. So I was like, well,
Oh,
I pretty well know what I am. So it's
yeah.
fine.
So what are you?
I'm like super Greek. It's ridiculous.
I'm a little Greek too.
Yeah, they were like super duper, like entirely Greek, and like Caucasus region or something, and a little bit English Irish somewhere there, like very minimal. Like I'm gonna say 1 or 2%. Like it's like the
Oh,
most
cool.
minimal amount. But it is interesting. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has done those, but I don't know. They're neat.
Cool to look at your family tree. Actually, on that note, a friend of mine was doing her family tree, and then she sends me a message with a screenshot, and we are related somehow. She's like, I don't know how this, yeah, it's so
That's
crazy. And
amazing.
we just like have been friends for several years now, and then all of a sudden we have some kind of family connection. It's so funny. We still haven't
That's
figured out
wild.
how or where, but like my whole family's in her family tree. So it's really crazy.
That's weird.
I know. So you should do your family tree. That has nothing to do
Um,
with what we're talking about today, but
No,
it's
no,
a little
absolutely
fun
not.
side.
My husband's family is very large. They're Irish Catholic. And some of them are probably going to watch us and be like, oh, good grief, Michelle. Um, but there is like Uncle Jim. He does all of the family tracking and tracing and family tree stuff. There are multiple binders. Okay. Like I'm talking about those like solid large binders,
Yep.
where he keeps track of every single person in the family. So, when some of my husband's cousins were growing up, they would come home or like go and see Jim and be like, am I related to this boy? And he'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Could be worse, right? Could be
You
like,
can't date him.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
Uh,
like that family tree is massive. Like there's 177 people in my husband's family, and it is just that's just like Kennelly's. Like that's
yeah.
just like that. So it like stems out to all these other it's wild to me. It's kind of amazing that my husband did find me because we know with 100% certainty we are not even remotely in the same
Related?
realm of
Okay.
relation.
That's
Yeah.
good.
It's great.
That's good. That's really good news, Michelle. I'm
That
happy to
is
hear.
fantastic news. Has zero to do with real estate. So anyone who's tuning in, they're like, what
Yeah.
the hell are these idiots talking about?
What are we
You
talking
know,
about?
we
Okay.
luck of the
What are we
Irish.
going to talk about?
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about sale of buyer's property condition, or you can call it SVP or SP. That's you say SPP, right? Sale of
Sale of
purchaser's
purchaser's
property.
property.
And
Yeah.
then there's sale SOBP, sale of
Sale.
buyer's
Mhm.
property. Like,
Yeah.
anyways, it all
They're
means the same
all the
thing,
same terms,
same
all the things.
condition.
Yeah.
So we wanted to discuss the pros and cons of the sale of buyer's property condition and why it may or may not work for you and
Mm-hmm.
the different situations and the good and bad. So,
Mm-hmm.
You want to
So
start?
anyone who's tuning in who is like, "Oh my God, I live in my house, but I want to buy another house. How the heck do I go about doing that?"
Mhm.
There are a bunch of ways, but
There
one is
is.
called the
There is.
SPP route.
Yeah.
And you list your house for sale and you purchase another property on the condition of selling your home. So that's the easiest definition
Right.
that I can give you. And it's not as crazy. We do it every single day. We have to basically become professionals at doing SPP offers. So if you are getting, you're wanting to move or make some changes, don't be scared because you're like, what do we do here? Or how do we sell first and buy or buy first and then sell? Yeah. So just like call us, I don't know, and we'll advise
Yeah.
you.
It's a very specific buyer who wants to use the sale of buyer's property condition. And it's not a condition
Yes.
that will work in all markets. So
Right.
I've found that people who want to include a sale of buyer's property condition are people who want to know exactly where they're moving to. They don't
Hmm.
like the idea of selling and then not knowing where they're going. They want to know first. They want that comfort and that ease of knowing where they're going,
Yeah.
and that flexibility of, okay, you know what? If we don't sell our house, then we can get out of that purchase. The downside of that is you don't necessarily know how much money you're going to have in your pocket once you sell your house. So if finances are a very important part of that buy and sell, then that may not be a good condition for you, because you kind of need to be more, what's the word I'm looking
Flexible
for?
with.
Flexible. You need to be more, like with your pricing, you need to be more competitive. That's what I'm looking for. So,
Mhm.
maybe you do need to list your property a little bit lower than what it's worth, in order to sell it quickly in that time frame. Because I don't know about you, Michelle, but here, if you're lucky enough to get a condition of the sale of buyer's property, it's probably not going to be any more than 30 days. What's it like in
Mhm.
your area?
Yeah, yeah,
Same?
pretty well, pretty well. Sometimes they even want you like within 2 or 3 weeks. The odd time I've had it where it's been like a month and a half, but typically it's 30 days,
Yeah.
no more.
Yeah, which depending on the property, like right now we're seeing days on market is 37 days. So
Yeah.
you may need more than 30 days. And then plus, if you're not even ready, if your house is not even ready to hit the market, those sellers may not look even at your condition. I feel like this can be a very convoluted topic. And I know
Yeah.
as a seller's agent, if a buyer brings an offer with the sale of their property condition, I'm doing some major research. I want to know
Huge.
how quickly their house is going on the market. I want to know what price point they are. And I may even
Yeah.
include that in the offer if we accept it, right?
And
Okay,
we've
you're
talked
going to
about
list,
this.
yeah, like you're going to list your house within X amount of days and make
Hmm.
that a condition. And you're going to list it at this price, right? Like
Yeah,
I want to
because it's
know
the
we're not
bait and
tying it up.
switch.
Yeah.
We don't want the bait and switch. Oh, we're gonna list the house within 48 hours at 450,000, and then you see it longer than 48 hours on the like coming to market, and
Yeah.
they've listed for 525, and you're like, hold the freaking phone. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me right now? That's not what we agreed to. We didn't agree to take your offer at your sale price of 525. That's a bunch of bullshit. Like go back to the 499 and you have a deal. So we sometimes get that bait and switch where it really does suck for a seller. It's like you're duping them.
Yeah.
Like,
Had an
hey,
agreement and then you
this,
change your mind.
and then you're going up here. Like that's really not fair in the grand scheme of things because everyone wants to move along. That's the whole purpose of people putting their houses on the market.
Which is why I will actually like discuss that with the buyer's agent and say, okay, let's get that in writing. If we're going to
Hmm.
agree to your condition, I want to know that you're going to list your house
Yeah.
at this price and that you are going to you're going to have it on the market within a couple of days, right? So that's something that, I mean, at the end of the day, Michelle, and I don't know about you, are you showing properties that have a condition of the sale of the buyer's property?
It
Because,
honestly depends.
okay,
I feel like it's a deterrent.
it definitely can be. I find that showings definitely slow down.
Yes.
But as an agent, a buyer's agent, I also feel like that's a great opportunity to scoop up a property
Absolutely.
if, I have clients that are ready to buy.
But I think there's agents that again are just terrible guides and are like, it's so conditional. Let's just wait and see what
And they don't even
happens.
know about it, right? Like
Right.
I know too many agents that don't even know what it, when you look on
Our
Realm or
system.
Stratus, these are our
Yeah.
systems. It will say like SCE, sold conditional with an escape clause. And a lot of agents don't even know what that means,
Right. Like
which
I've
is
scooped up
crazy.
properties for my buyers and we've bumped other offers because they were sold conditional with escape clause. And now I'm like, why are people not showing these properties? Like you can
Yeah.
literally just like you're showing a buyer that just needs financing and inspection, you can bump them.
Yeah.
That's not even, that's the best. That's literally like, I wouldn't necessarily show a house if it was sold conditional with just a financing condition
Sure.
because I know that's a pretty good chance of it firming up. But if it says sold conditional with escape, I'm like, okay, what are
Mhm.
the actual
There's an
chances
opportunity here. Yeah.
that that purchaser can firm up on that property within 24 or 48 hours?
Yeah.
Probably not a good chance. Like I've scooped up properties for my buyers before, and the first purchasers got their notice, and it's like, oh well, frig, we don't even have an offer on our house, so I guess we have to release,
So for
right?
the public, yeah, for the public that doesn't understand, the sale of the buyer's property condition includes an escape clause. And what that means is that another buyer can come in and bring an offer so that if your sellers or if the sellers like that offer, they have to give the first purchasers an opportunity to firm up or back out. And the time period is negotiated in the first offer, right? So maybe it's a day, maybe it's 2 days if you're lucky. So then if those original purchasers can't firm up, then they have to do a mutual release. And then the second buyer that comes to the table have now bumped them. So there's still a risk, even if you do put in a condition in your offer to buy a house conditional on the sale of your house, right? Like you may
Right.
get bumped and now your house is on the market. Like there's always risks, right? So, but at the end of the day, you're not going to risk the possibility of knowing where you're going. Does that make sense? Have I convoluted things?
No, that makes sense. I
Okay.
mean, it makes sense to me because I'm a realtor, but I don't know
Yeah.
to the general public. If you have questions after this, please
Yes.
feel free to call us or reach out, DM, whatever you need to do. We're happy to explain the process to you, provided you are not under contract with any other
Yes. Of
agent, of
course.
course,
Of course.
because this is not intended to solicit anybody. Um, but I think the whole condition is just completely convoluted. It is if it's based on a million factors.
Yeah.
It is based on a million other aspects, including, you know, pricing, your budgetary restrictions. You know what I mean? Like if you like a lot of times people will say, okay, well, I need it conditional on selling my house because I need to know what price point I'm going to get and walk away with, and then they can start to crunch numbers. So, I've worked with sellers who are purchasing, and they know we have an accepted offer on their house, let's say, and we have an accepted
Mhm.
offer on the other house with the SPP. Um, they know what the price they're gonna like their proceeds. They know
Yeah.
then they know what they're purchasing at and all the numbers make sense to them. Or when negotiating an offer, say on their end, they might say, we literally cannot go lower than, say, this price if they can come up like a little bit, because then our numbers make sense when we're moving to this next house. So, but there are so many, and there's so many conversations we need to be having with our clients, because it's like, at what point do you lose out on a house, or at what point do you take less just to make it work to move? Like, what is your motivation for this? Are you just moving just to move, or are you
Right.
moving because you legitimately need more space, or you legitimately need less space,
Yeah.
right? So what's the motivation? And if the motivation isn't always money related, or they're willing to take a little bit of a, you know, it, again, not everyone needs to make a profit on their house. And
Right.
not everybody has to break even when they're purchasing a new house. So I find that this happens a lot where people are like, I need to get this much money for my house to buy this house. Well, you technically don't really, because you're already up, say, 200,000 on this house, and then you're purchasing this house, which is obviously more than what you're selling for here. And you're telling me that, there's a little bit of a discrepancy, but that's just what happens. That's just like the realistic thing that can happen. And I think everyone thinks that, oh no, I have to be up in the game.
Right.
Like for
Well,
for me, like when I sold my last house and purchased my current house, there was a discrepancy of $13,000
right.
based on an appraisal. It wasn't even really like anything crazy. Um, but that was the discrepancy. And for me, I'm like, oh no, I'm out 13,000. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm moving to this other house. And I lived in that house for 3 months and it doubled in value because of
Right.
COVID. Thank you so much. But it was like I didn't look at it as a loss. It was like I want more space. I would like my family to have all this room and to be rural. And this is the end game. This is the destination I want to get to. So if I have to pay a little bit more out of pocket, that just is what it is.
Yeah.
You're not always going to be up, right?
Absolutely. I
I don't
mean,
know.
that's reality. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we are always up because maybe, what you purchased your house for and then what you sell it for, like you hopefully have some equity there, right? Maybe it's not what you wanted to sell it for or what you could have got during COVID, but you're still up. So
Right.
I think
It's
it's
just
all
like,
perspective, right? It's
yeah.
all
And I think
perspective.
that's how it plays into the whole SPP thing too. And then on the flip side, like, you want to purchase something. Okay, so I'm working with buyers and I'm like, "Hey guys, we're going to purchase this and we know we need to sell your house." So some agents in our office do this. I haven't done it a ton because it's all risk factor and how much risk the buyer wants to take, buyer
Yeah.
slash seller. So, you can start by saying, "Hey, okay, you guys want to buy this house. Let's lock into it.
Mhm.
Let's get it accepted. We'll do financing, inspection, whatever you want to do. Sometimes we have rural properties, so we need septic and well and wet certifications and all the things. So, we'll do the regular conditions. Those are called regular conditions, essentially. And then what we'll do is we'll have a 90-day closing. And then what we'll do is we will get your house listed this week. So within the next 5 days, we will have your house on the market. We will price it appropriately to get it sold
Right.
with a closing that lines up with the 90-day one or as close to it as possible. And sometimes we maybe bridge. It is what
Yeah.
it is. Maybe the person purchasing your house is wanting to close in 70 days. And, maybe on the purchasing end, you can move it up by like a week, but then there's a week gap you can always bridge, right? So there's always that if, depending on that like risk threshold of what people can tolerate, you can always just go buy the house and know you're selling your house. Where that kind of gets sticky is when a seller is like, no, this is the price that I want. And you've shown them the market stats, you've had showings, you've done all the things. Um,
And
and
it's
it just
not
doesn't
realistic.
align. It just
Yeah.
isn't, it's not realistic. So when you're trying to sell your house and you're trying to purchase at the same time, you have to be realistic on all the prices, like the purchasing and the sale. And yeah, it basically has to align with you and what your goals are. So I think this whole SPP situation basically depends on your situation completely.
Yeah, and it depends on your risk management. Like how much risk do you want to take?
Right.
Like how much are you comfortable with? Like I like the example you just gave, I just did that and it worked out phenomenal for my clients. But before going into that situation, we looked at what is our lowest possible sell price for this property. And once we figured that number out, I was like, okay, I think we're in a really good place. We ended up
Right.
getting a great price for their house. But we did all the things, right?
Right.
We looked at our risk factor, we assessed it, and my clients were comfortable with going the route that you just explained. Whereas then I have other clients who are like, no, like I really just, I need to know where I'm going. I don't want the risk. And, I want to be able to sell my house, know what I get for it, and then be able to move forward with the house that I want. So in that case, I guess the buyer wants all the things, which I don't
Hmm.
blame them, right? If you
Yeah.
can have it, why not get it, right?
And it's tough too. Like, are you a single person or do you have a family of five? that you have to worry about, and animals. It's not like you can just sell your house and then say, well, we'll figure it out
But then
when you have a
also
family,
on the flip
right?
side of that, Michelle, we not all markets will allow for a condition of the sale of buyer's property, right? Like
Right.
for several years, it wasn't even a thought, like
They were unheard of for like at
unheard
least
of,
4 years straight.
at least more in my area.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's just you have to look at market conditions. During COVID, yeah, you wanted to secure something before you sold your house, right?
Of
Because you knew
course.
your house was going to sell in 5 days or even one day if you wanted to. Um,
Crazy.
right? But that market has changed. So now it takes a little longer to sell your house. And we're not as clear. Like, during COVID, we could say, yes, we can get X for your house guaranteed. And likely we're probably going to get more.
Right.
Right. But now it's like, okay, this is the range. And it will just depend on who that buyer is and how long it takes for them to come to the table.
Right. And if we have, you have 37 days on market as average, ours are between a mix of all of my areas, around 47 days on market. So if
Okay.
you're purchasing something with a 90-day out closing, you got
Yeah.
to get your house listed on the market immediately. And it could take almost 50 days. So you're
Yeah.
not left over with a ton, right? So it's kind of cutting it a little bit close, but in the end, you just have to have faith and trust that it'll sell. And a lot of times it comes down to price. Like
Yeah.
if your
Always
house
comes
isn't
down to price.
selling, right?
Yeah.
If your house isn't
Always. And
selling, it's
condition.
the price, right? Like I don't like, maybe I've experienced things that are like, oh no, we have to close on this specific day, no ifs, ands, or buts, and the buyer can't do that, so they walk away. But like realistically, 99% of the time, it's coming down to price.
Right.
Someone
Yeah.
will buy something anywhere, even if it's a terrible location, if it's the right price,
For sure.
right?
Always. Yeah.
So this just comes down to that. I would also want to talk about sale of or seller suitable accommodation.
Ooh,
So this is like
that's
a switch up.
yes.
So again,
Which is a
sale.
great option
It is.
to a sale of buyer's property, right? It's like the
Yes.
opposite, but it still
Right.
gives you that security.
So, to anyone listening that doesn't know what I'm talking about, sale or seller suitable accommodation. So, basically, it's a condition for the seller to find suitable accommodation within a set time period. So, you as the buyer go and do your conditions, get your financing, inspections, all the things. And then the seller gets to find suitable accommodation. So, typically, sellers know where they're going when they have that seller suitable accommodation clause in, and they are just trying to like cover their butts and
Line
not
up dates and
be,
stuff.
yeah, and like line up dates and like do all the things. But sometimes we include those, especially if it's say a house that's like 450,000, which is a very first time buyer price range,
Yeah.
and the seller puts in a seller suitable accommodation. It's usually not a big deal because the purchaser isn't in a place that has deadlines of when they need to move. So sometimes it can be amended, right? So like they might, need the sellers. Let's say the buyers have conditions for 2 weeks or seven business days, let's say, for their conditions, and then the seller suitable accommodation clause comes into play, and they have it for like maybe 14 business
Right.
days. They just want that like little bit of overlap to get their secured and everything sorted. Maybe sometimes it's longer than that. Typically, a buyer is going to wait because they know they've negotiated the price, they've started their conditions, they've maybe done all their conditions. They're usually willing to wait for that property for
I
this.
don't think they like it though.
They don't like it. I don't.
They don't like
I've
it.
I've maybe experienced two people that have liked it because they're like, yeah, I live with my parents. It's not a big deal.
Right.
I can wait. No big deal. Banana peel.
Mhm.
So it is what it is. But then you get into a situation where it's like the seller suitable accommodations. We got an SSA and an SPP in the same offer,
Oh my gosh.
which becomes a nightmare. Like my brain hurts.
Oh
I'm
my
like short
gosh. Yes.
circuiting at the
Have you
moment.
had that happen? I've never had that happen.
I currently have it.
Oh my gosh. That my brain hurts for you.
Hmm. It's a
Like
lot.
just navigating that. Oh my gosh. How do you even navigate that? Like
Yeah, basically, like the purchaser
once they sell their
is,
house, like how that's
yeah,
not that's still more risk, right? Because if the purchaser wants to buy this house based on the sale of their place, so now they've sold their house, but now they're going to have to give the seller 2 weeks. What if the seller doesn't find anything? What if they decide,
Right.
you know what, we can't find anything, we're not going to sell anymore? The first buyers have already sold their house. That's terrible. Oh my
Yeah, it's a
gosh.
disaster. It's an
Yeah.
absolute disaster. I
Oh,
mean, yeah, I don't know. We've had it, we've made it do. You and I have worked on stuff that's like has an SA or suitable accommodation,
yes.
and it is what it is. But like,
You
I
have
don't
to be
know.
creative, right?
You have
We
to be
that's
creative to make everybody
that's the thing.
happy in the end, and you just have to really manifest and work your butt off that this shit will pan out.
Yes, you just gotta
You
keep
know what I
praying.
mean? Like
Please
at
help.
one point, you have to be like, holy shit, I'm on this ride and I want to get off. We're not there yet. Hopefully, it's only one more hurdle.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
almost there. Yeah.
But I'm like, I talk about this with Jenny. I'm so friggin' delusional. I have like delusional optimism.
Oh, me too. I am the eternal optimist.
And
Like,
she
yes.
calls me Delulu all the time. And I'm like, I know. I am so optimistically delusional. Like it's ridiculous. But I
But it's
genuinely
because you've
think,
seen it happen. You've
right.
seen the magic happen, right? And I have
I've been
too,
in
and
this
that's
business a
why.
while.
Yeah.
Like I kind of know that this shit will come together. And if it doesn't, then like we just make something else happen. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good. Yeah. That's so, so true. Oh my gosh. And that's why we get along so well.
Yeah, right. We're both Delulu together. It's fine. And Jenny's in there
In a good way. In a good way. In a
in a
very good
very good
way.
way. We're not like out there fluffing around. We're like very motivated,
Yes.
delusional
I think
optimists.
that's one of the things, the comments my clients tell say the most about me. They're like, through everything, you were always optimistic. You were always like, this is all going to work out. And I'm like, because it always works out.
It
Like,
always works out. And if it doesn't work out, it's not the end. It's all
something
good.
else will work out. Right.
Right.
So it's just,
Yeah, that's okay.
yeah, it's so good.
Delulu Club for life. Got this. It's fine. Any one of our clients watching this, we make stuff happen. We
Yeah,
make the magic happen all the time.
all
We've
the
been in the business for a long time. So we've seen it all and we have made lots of stuff happen. So I don't know.
in a good way.
And we're
So
hilarious and we love life. So it's all
that's
the
so
good things. We
yeah.
know things will work out. So are we ending here?
I think so. I think so. We
Okay.
have some, well, stay tuned for some other really great topics that are going to be coming up. So,
Mhm.
and if you have any questions or thoughts or topic ideas, we'll just say that again. Just reach out. We'd love to hear from you. We want to hear from you.
Yes.
Maybe we'll
You,
even have you on the show. Right?
if you're lucky. You can only join if you're also Delulu like us. So
Oh my gosh. I'm
no,
not
we
gonna
could we could
unhear
bring
that
in
now. I'm just gonna have that in the back of my mind.
we can bring in some professionals. So we'll end it here.
Okay.
Have a great week,
Peace
everybody,
out.
and we'll see you next time.